Joining me now, former House Intelligence Committee Chairman and Trump Media CEO, the great Devin Nunes. Devin, good to see you. So give me your take on this.
Sean, great to be with you.
Yeah, because the FBI is talking about potential gun charges in regard to a purchase of a gun. They're talking about tax charges, but it seems like they're leaving off anything that could relate back to Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, look, if this was any normal citizen, these crimes would have been prosecuted a long time ago. But I think what you're alluding to, Sean, is that there are so many other crimes that exist on the so-called laptop from hell that, by the way, was buried in the last election and probably changed the outcome of the election because of the fake news and the tech companies hiding that information. If that laptop was about Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump or one of the Trump kids or me or you, Sean, we would be hung up many, many, many moons ago. And you wouldn't even have needed a $1 million bounty program like they had for Trump before the 2016 election.
You know, I look at Hunter Biden, and yes, he's had drug problems. Yes, he's had issues with paying women for certain deeds, right? I don't really care about that. I don't want to go after him because his dad is the president. But I do care to know whether Joe Biden was involved in a criminal enterprise to make money overseas from people that hate us. And if Joe Biden was making money from Hunter Biden's dealings while he was the vice president, he very well could be compromised right now. That's what I care about, Devin.
Yeah, and Sean, there are witnesses that say as much.
You're
and
right.
Fox News actually broke the story, as I remember back in 2020. A guy named Bob Alinsky. This is out there. You have Miranda Devine from the New York Post who has written extensively about this. And you're exactly right. And look, I don't want to downplay the drug charges, gun charges, and all of that normal U.S. citizens would be charged with. But there's something much larger here. You and I were there dealing with the first Ukraine impeachment hoax, where they actually pinned on Donald Trump something that Biden and his kids and family were actually doing. And that's on tape, where you have Biden talking about revoking $1 billion while his son and brother are out working deals with the Ukrainian gas company. So you're exactly right. I think the crimes that should be prosecuted here, this looks like another sweep under the rug by the Department of Justice and the FBI, where they turn a blind eye to Democrats, and then they look at Republicans for things that they're not even guilty of, and try to invent crimes.
And there's a long history of what appears to be the FBI and DOJ targeting Republicans and giving a pass to Democrats, which calls into question this decision as well. But Devin, I want you to stick with me. I want you to respond to this report I'm going to get. A senior FBI analyst